What is it?
Hello and welcome to The Essential Gamer. You're watching What Is It with me, Lee, and what it is Anodyne 2 Return to Dust. Now, sometimes when I get these games for What Is It, I know what I'm going to be dealing with straight off the bat. With Anodyne 2, I had no idea, and it's not because I didn't play the first one, although I didn't. This actually has nothing to do with the first game, except for some of the characters returning in different forms as far as I'm aware. The rest of it is pretty mental. So you play a character which exists in a third-person form and in this old-school SNES, NES era looking sort of, 1632-bit top-down Zelda-esque platformy puzzle-solving sections alongside driving sections and rhythm game sections. It's a menagerie of gameplay styles all crammed into what is probably one of the most bonkers stories I've ever tried to get my head round. You are a cleaner who shrinks down to nano size and cleans people's lungs. It's mental. It's actually mental. So it starts off in a really strange way with a letter to the player from the two devs. Very strange way to start a game. Not a problem with it, but it sort of sets you on a foot of this is going to be really weird. Then you introduce the characters and there's a lot of comedy and sort of the writing. It takes itself seriously up to a point, and then it just sort of lampoons and parodies everything that you'd expect from this sort of genre. Like the beginning bit, there's a conversation with a rock that gives you a seed that does something to collect cards, to do some... It's all these sort of arbitrary systems thrown in on top of each other. And then, as I say, there's bits where this rock says that you've seen the length and breadth of the world and you've literally travelled about 20 foot. And then the actual sort of snazzy, cartoonified, puzzly bits when you're shrunken down, they play like a traditional old school SNES game. And it's such a juxtaposition from this PlayStation 1, I'd say, era looking visuals. I mean, it has its moments where it looks half decent, but generally Anodyne 2 doesn't look fantastic, I'll be honest. Got some very nice effects and some very nice sort of set pieces, if you would, but on a whole it don't look great. I mean, the character models besides your model are abominations. Some of them I honestly think will haunt my dreams for the rest of my life. This guy just looks absolutely mad. But what I do like is that through the process of finding a character, doing the rhythm game section to break down the defences, and then actually travelling into their bodies, their lungs, you get these very themed levels. So this guy with a massive tongue, inside everything was tongues and eyes, and it was all very creepy. And it all ends with a boss fight where you defeat the dust mites that are trying to take over people and change their personalities and rule the world and destroy everything by being dust. Like I said, it's mad. The story is completely mental. It's got some sort of nice themes to it, but don't expect to fully understand it. And the visuals really, they don't stop being mental. Like I said, it doesn't look fantastic. The two devs here have obviously done the best that they could, or they've gone for this aesthetic, either one. It's a lot to keep up with. And as such, it does give you the card system. So you collect these cards. So basically, you defeat someone's dust mite, and then you get a card for that character. And it tells you a bit about them and what's going on. And it helps to sort of explain the world a little bit, because generally, you're not going to have a clue what's going on. These sort of things are always handy. I like having item descriptions and sort of information inventories and all that stuff, so that you can try and make sense of the world. There's a few issues with it. The set pieces, like I said, are very nice and all that sort of thing, but they don't really make a lot of sense. And you can combine that with the fact that obviously you're working in this quasi open world, and as you are trying to figure out how to progress within the game, you'll travel about, and that's when the main issue does appear. And for me, it was the camera as a vehicle. It's awful. It just clips all the way out of the game at times. I mean, some of the platforming's very floaty, some of the driving is very floaty, but the actual sort of main gameplay is in the SNES type moments, in the more sort of shrunken down sections when you're itty bitty. Everything else serves really as a continuation for the story and sort of a carriage for the narrative. You learn about the characters. There's lots of individual stories that may resonate with people. Things like the workaholic that wastes his entire city because he just concentrates on one thing and not what the people actually need. There's people that have let their anger get the best of them, people that have let their obsessions get the best of them, and these sort of themes are touched upon in quite nice ways, and at these moments the game does actually make a bit of sense and you can understand what the hell is going on. For the rest of it, maybe not, probably not. You'll probably sit there going, why did I do that? What's wrong with this person? What is this guy made out of? Why does he have a sombrero on? Are they wings or are they something? There's many questions you will ask about Anodyne 2. So, Anodyne 2 is a game unlike one that I've ever played before, mixing this sort of indie approach with old school classic PlayStation 1 releases and NES games. It's mad. I mean, if you like your games mad and unpredictable, Anodyne 2 has you covered. If you want polish and everything else, it's maybe not here, but it's certainly something different. As always, if this video has been any good to you, please like and subscribe. You can always share and tell your nan and maybe the postman, because I hear that postmen are quite handy at getting the message out. Do you like that? That's a dad joke. I'm getting worse, aren't I? Sorry.